Americans have never been more worried about our economy and our democracy.
Yeah, so while Republican senators are saying that they are basically too afraid to say anything negative about Donald Trump out of fear of reprieve,
we are all afraid. Okay. It's quite a statement. But we are, we're in a time and a place where I don't know, I certainly have not been here before. And I'll tell you, I'm oftentimes very anxious myself about using my voice, because retaliation is real, and that's not right.
Republican constituents, however, across the country are making their voice heard and their disdain for a man who once held a stronghold in areas like, say, Martin County in Florida, where videos like this have gone viral.
Please hold off. It does not help that Congress, your branch of government, has failed to function as separate and equal.
I'm alarmed. We are experiencing a blatant violation of America's system of checks and balances. Our government does anything about this, then this can happen to anyone. There will not be a single person in this country who is safe if this goes unchecked.
As another week draws to a close for the Trump administration, a few things stand out. We had arguably two of the best metaphors for the administration happen in real time. There's J.D. Vance and a trophy, and a kid throwing up in the Oval Office as Donald Trump spoke.
Happy, because your life will be in great danger. Yeah. Oh.
Press out, press out.
And the other thing is that because of Trump's policies, Republicans are facing the wrath of their own constituents.
What are you doing to protect us in the 14th district from the damage and extreme hardship of Trump's tariffs? Gutting of Social Security and Medicaid. Wow. Doge gutting our government with a chainsaw approach and the utter destruction and ignoring of our Constitution and rule of law. He is not well physically or mentally, and he's making nonsensical orders based on his whim of the day.
Back from El Salvador.
Across the country at Republican-held town halls, countless videos have emerged offering a glimpse at the building anger over Donald Trump's sweeping overhaul of the federal government among portions of the electorate. And in the face of it, the deference GOP lawmakers continue to show the president. For instance, the scene in Iowa as uber-conservative Chuck Grassley was repeatedly accosted over his inability to stand up to Trump and push back against the executive branch, which clearly is far into overreach territory.
Back from El Salvador. Why not?
Well, because that's not a power of Congress.
The Supreme Court said to bring it back.
Yeah, but
Trump don't care.
An MS-13 guy. Let's be very clear about this. The accusation of being MS-13 is based on a double hearsay testimony. They never followed up with it. And a detective who weeks later was indicted for sharing confidential information. His legal status, Abrego Garcia's, was approved by the Trump administration in 2019. And every year since then, he has checked in with the Department of Homeland Security. And nobody has said anything about him being a gangbanger.
Until he was.
No, not until anything.
He became a prop.
To this day. It's not about being a prop. There will be other senators that are looking into these because it is reported that over 75% of the people that were on that plane have not been convicted of anything.
Then there were these videos shared from deep red districts in Florida, of all places, a far cry from the unapologetic support we're used to seeing.
Americans have never been more worried about our economy and our democracy. Please hold off. It does not help that Congress, your branch of government, has failed to function as separate and equal. From the start of the Trump administration, we've seen chainsaw cuts to federal agencies which were providing vital services to Americans. We've lost everything from food banks to medical research to the arts and education. The funds provided for these were appropriated by Congress to better our society and provide humane care for our neighbors and loved ones. And yet, when the president initiated cuts through Elon Musk, who I might add, no one voted for or was approved by, did not assert any objection. We are seeing wildly chaotic tariffs placed on the global economy, which, believe it or not, is not going to stimulate manufacturing in the United States in my lifetime, and which does promise to generate a major recession very soon, and that will be in my lifetime. You in Congress have watched passively while your authority to levy tariffs was usurped by the president. There are many other reasons why Americans are worried about our country and our position in the world, and our representation in Congress is a huge part of it. Our Canadian neighbors have been harassed on the roads, singled out by their Quebec license plates for no reason other than the president's senseless attacks on Canada, which is our ally.
I'm alarmed. We are experiencing a blatant violation of America's system of checks and balances. We are kidnapping people, even trafficking them to another country, paying to keep them imprisoned. That is not how deportation works. No trial, no proof, no paper trail. We are the terrorists in this situation. If no one in our government does anything about this, then this can happen to anyone. There will not be a single person in this country who is safe if this goes unchecked. Our Constitution will be null and void, and fascism will be here. I didn't vote for this. You took an oath to support and defend the Constitution and the freedom it affords its citizens against all enemies, foreign and domestic. How can you support our president in these actions? And does this contradict your belief in the Constitution?
Yeah, I support 100%. Deporting the individuals that are in the United States of America illegally. 100%.
Due process! Their names are Abrego Garcia, Andres Cedeno, and Miro Gutierrez. All three of them deported accidentally.
Not accidentally.
Yes,
They've been adjudicated previously for deportation. As a result of that adjudication for deportation, I support that deportation. the rest of them. And to say again, this is something that the previous administration could have done. They chose not to. It's a good way to tie in something else. Because we're Floridians, I'm going to tie in FEMA to this. FEMA, very specifically, meant to help Floridians during hurricanes, tornadoes, things like that. One of the reasons that you see things going on with FEMA was FEMA, as one example, $1.5 billion of your FEMA money gone to pay for illegal immigrants in New York City in their hotels. Those things come to an end.
And if you are looking for an example that is, say, indicative of how Republicans view their own constituents, then take the situation in Georgia, where Marjorie Taylor Greene tried her best to host a highly scripted event, going as far to hand-pick questions to be submitted in writing beforehand, only to then mock people from her own district who managed to sneak their questions through the vetting process.
What are you doing to protect us in the 14th district from the damage and extreme hardship of Trump's tariffs? Gutting of Social Security and Medicaid. Wow. Doge gutting our government with a chainsaw approach and the utter destruction and ignoring of our Constitution and rule of law. He is not well physically or mentally, and he's making nonsensical orders based on his whim of the day. How are you going to rein him in to protect us? Oh, poor Christina. Poor Christina. Well, I'm sure, Christina, you think that you're pretty smart. But the reality is you are being completely brainwashed by whatever source of news you listen to. The facts are this. No one has lost their Social Security. No one has lost their benefits. Criminals have lost it. Yes. Fraudsters have lost it. Yes. And illegal aliens have lost it. Yep. And if you want to defend those people where you hate our country and you hate America, what am I going to do? I am going to stand by my president.
Calling them brainwashed. That's right. Brainwashed. This coming from a woman who thought 9/11 was a hoax, QAnon was a patriot, and that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had a body double. Irony had no tears left to weep. But they can deflect and downplay the evident frustration all they want. It won't make it go away, not as lawmakers do absolutely nothing while the Trump administration wages a war on Social Security, tanking their 401k, and shrinks the federal workforce. The tide is clearly turning.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.